Hi everyone, it's me again. I'm taking over Lefty's channel while he is out on the BDR. I'm supposed to be uploading video that he left me, but instead I'm uploading my own videos about my own journey to get my motorcycle license. So come with me as I show you what I've learned and what I know now, and I'm gonna go and get my motorcycle permit today because I need to get my permit so I can try out a few bikes with some friends before I take that class in a little bit. So come with me and we'll talk about what I've learned. The first thing I've learned about motorcycles is actually how to learn about motorcycles. And if I go into the DMV site for Tennessee to try to get my license, to get my Class M, I find out that the easiest way to get a Class M and the one that's recommended, and really the one that Mike has recommended to me over and over, is to take the motorcycle class. So in my hometown, the motorcycle class, I can do a private class for one day, and for $450, spend one day, have an instructor one-on-one to really go over the basics and then get into how to be safe in riding. And so I think that's the option I'm gonna choose, but you'll see down here, right now I can sign up through August 15th, and I am 3 weeks into a 12-week recovery period. I can't ride a motorcycle for 9 more weeks. And I really want to go ahead and get my permit and get some practice in before I go and see this class. I don't want to show up knowing nothing with the instructor. That's intimidating to me. I like to have a little bit of prior knowledge as I come in. So I have decided to go ahead and take the written test here. That'll give me a little bit more information, and getting prepared for it will give me a little bit more information, and it'll knock out that part of the class. I won't have to take that part of the class on my one-on-one lesson. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this. So if I take the motorcycle class, or if I take that class, I can go into the DMV, show them my certificate, and then I don't have to take the written test and I don't have to take the driving test. But I'm gonna go ahead and take the written test today. So before I do that, I need to read this manual, and it's about 90 pages long. There's some really good information in here and some graphics. It doesn't really get started until about page 32. There's just things I need to know. And so I wanna take this and go down into the garage in a minute and try to find all of these things. I think I know where these are and I can locate these on the bike, but just doing my due diligence and knowing where these things are and being able to call things by the right name is gonna make me feel less ridiculous. It's gonna make me feel more in control for the class, or even when I talk to Mike's friends as I'm starting to learn. So that's where I'm headed. That's my idea. And I will see you in the garage in just a few minutes. Okay, so as we go out and sneak and look at these bikes, I do want to talk about just my experience on two wheels, and it's very limited. When I was a kid, I had a bicycle that had no gears, coaster brake, probably a 16-inch. And so I wrecked that and never got another bicycle. And so I think I didn't even have experience with shifting gears. I've done very little mountain biking or road biking because I have vertigo as an adult. And so biking can be a little bit tricky. I actually did get that addressed, so shout out to the Balance Center in Cookeville, Tennessee for fixing my vertigo. Now I can be on two wheels. You've probably seen Mike's videos about my tricycle. I've been driving a motorized tricycle, so I am on a motorized bike. It goes about 25 miles an hour for 20 miles, and it does have a throttle in the right place and a brake here in the right place. I do have caliper brakes and disc brakes on this bike, but my feet don't do anything except pedal, and only when I want them to. So I'm not used to shifting at all, particularly not used to shifting with my feet and something up here on the grip. So I'm a little bit nervous about that. And I think the more I can learn ahead of time, the better I'm gonna be. So I've been on bed rest for 3 weeks. I've spent a lot of time Googling very important things and watching YouTube videos about very important things. Things like, how do you shift on a motorcycle? And how do you ride a motorcycle? And I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna go through this paper on both of Mike's bikes to make sure I know what's going on here in case this is on my little written test that I'm gonna take. I have learned that down is 1, up about a half is 2, and then 3, 4, and so on, 2, 3, 4, and so on. You can put your toe under it and pick up, and just like clicking a pin up or down. There's no getting it into a gear the way you would on a column. So my only gear shifting has been, or my main gear shifting has been, either on a big tractor that we use to mow the grass with on my family farm, or in straddling the shifter if My whole family was in the front seat of an old truck on the farm. Normally one of the little ones would have to move the stick while my dad pushed the clutch while he was driving. So I did learn how to get things into gear. And then the first vehicle I learned to drive in high school was a standard Ford Escort station wagon that earned me the worst car in the parking lot for my high school. So I was the heap of the month with that little baby, but it did teach me how to find, you know, when you're supposed to shift gears and that sort of thing. Something I have learned just from this sheet of paper though, is that this is called a tachometer, which is, you know, kind of telling you the revolutions of when you need to shift gears. And I'm gonna have to figure out how to say that word. This bike has a lot going on, really crowded, but the pieces that I'm supposed to know are the same and pretty identifiable. And so I feel pretty confident, like with this and with all that newfound knowledge, I think I am ready to take my permit test. So let's go. So it's been a really long time since I've taken a permit test, and now you just come in and sit at one of these terminals. Nobody's taking them, so I think it's okay for me to record. And I am lucky number 7. Let's go get this done. So that's kind of the most frustrating thing ever. I don't know what I expected from the Department of Homeland Security or from Tennessee, the state of Tennessee, or the DMV for that matter, but there is no legal way to get a permit in Tennessee. There's no legal way to practice without either taking the course. You have to practice on private property. There's no way to do it any other way. So I just took the test, and for nothing, only to pay $3 for no reason, because once I take the class, I'll get my license without having to take the driving test, and I wouldn't have had to take this written test either. So I took the written test just for shits and giggles, I guess. And I had somebody who was in training, it wasn't really her fault, who didn't know the difference. And so when I said I'm gonna take the class, she didn't stop me and say, well, you don't need to take this test because it'll cover that too. I knew it would cover that, but I thought I would have a permit in the meantime. And I'm not gonna be able to take the, oh well. I'm just really frustrated and let down because I thought I was going to be able to sneak out and at least have a permit before Mike ever found out about my shenanigans. And it looks like that's not true at all. And that's just sucks.